This story starts with a lawyer named Lauren Monroe. She's a real good person and lawyer who very well knows her moral duties. Once, she's asked to defend a criminal for $1 million, but she says no to the offer. She cares more about justice than money, just like good peeps. Then we get to meet Lauren's little brother, William, who's trying to become the mayor of New York City. On the other side, there's their dad, Archer Monroe, a rich businessman who's having a hard time breathing. He immediately gets into his car, but sadly, on the way home, he passes away. Lauren is at a press conference when a reporter tells her about her dad. She's shocked because her father was just fine that morning. She had to leave and arrange for a funeral for the final rites, and after everything's done, Lauren and William talk about how their dad was proud of her. They also talk about moving their mom closer to them. Lauren goes to her dad's office and remembers how he taught her to play chess, saying it's like the game of life. A week later, their family lawyer Harold reads Archer's will. Now, Catherine, their mom, is the CEO of the company. William gets $20 million, but Lauren only gets $1 million. The rest, $50 million, is supposed to be given to the police and medical schools. After Harold made the big announcement, he went up to Lauren quietly and gave her a special package. He said her dad left it for her. Curious, she opened it and found a pen drive and some keys. When she plugged the pen drive into her computer, she saw a video of her dad. He said something surprising that she had to keep a secret for her whole life. He apologized for not telling anyone when he was alive. Still in shock, Lauren went into the woods. There she discovered a hidden lock on a surface. The keys from the package unlocked it, revealing stairs leading to a basement. With great courage, she went down, opened a door, and found a man tied up. He suddenly moved, scaring her away. Terrified, she ran back home. Lauren got really scared, so decided to call for help, but her brother stopped her. He felt bad about how the money was shared and wanted to give her more. She refused, saying money wasn't important. Later that night, Scott checked on her, but she said she needed alone time. Looking at a childhood photo with her dad, memories of an argument flooded back. He wanted her to defend rich friends in court, but she refused because she didn't want to help criminals. The next morning, Lauren, armed with a gun, decided to return to the bunker. This time, she sees the man sleeping, so she quietly takes his fingerprints to figure out who he is. Suddenly, he opens his eyes, and she gets hell scared, but she manages to run away. A little later, she comes back wearing a mask and asks him who he is. Surprisingly, he seems to know a lot about her, like her birthday, her brother's name, and even how she got married against her dad's wishes. Convinced that he might be a family member, she takes off her mask and asks him again. The man says he feels like part of the family after being stuck for so long. He asks if she's a good person, and when she says yes, he tells her to let him go because that's what good people do. But Lauren thinks he did something bad to deserve being locked up. She tries to figure out what's happening. The man gets demanding, asking for a fancy meal, cigarettes, and an old bottle of scotch. He even wants to shave. Seriously, like right now, or maybe he would be feeling alive again in the surroundings of good people. Lauren threatens to leave him there, but he's not bothered. He says her conscience won't let her do that. Feeling stuck, she agrees to meet his demands and gives him a razor before leaving. Back home, she sends the fingerprints to her detective friend, Emilio, asking for more info about that mysterious man. Then she buys everything the man wanted and goes back to the bunker. After so many years, he finally gets the delicious food and enjoys it with tears of joy. She gives him a chocolate bar as a treat, so he gets emotional. The man tells her that her dad used to bring him chocolate once a year, giving him just one piece and leaving the rest on the shelf to tease him. After he enjoyed the food, he told Lauren his name was Morgan Warner. Then he shared his past. He said he met Archer 30 years ago, and they became friends really fast because they both liked gambling, having a big ego, and being with women. They even became business partners. One night, after having some drinks, Archer hit a person while driving. The person died, but instead of calling the cops, Archer insisted they bury the body to avoid trouble. Morgan didn't agree, so Archer attacked him and locked him in the bunker. Archer was scared Morgan would go to the police. Morgan also revealed Archer had an affair with a woman named Sophia, whom he called his Gypsy Rose. Lauren found it hard to believe, so Morgan gave her Sophia's address, asking her to check. He also said she could ask Harold because he knew everything. Lauren, overwhelmed, but stayed calm. She called Emilio to check on Morgan Warner and then went to Sophia's address. Lauren asked Sophia where she met her dad, and Sophia said it was in a poker game. During their talk, Lauren saw a photo of a boy and asked about him. Okay, that was another surprise, as Sophia revealed he was Alex, her son and Lauren's half-brother. Unable to handle the truth, Lauren left, but she cried a lot. Afterward, she went to Harold and released her anger for keeping such a big secret. Harold explained that he had to keep things private. Lauren asked what else he was hiding, and he said there was nothing harmful. However, he admitted he'd keep the rest hidden and suggested she must forget about it. Later, Lauren goes to see her mom, who's busy with William's election campaign. She asks if her mom knows Morgan Warner, but it doesn't ring a bell. William comes in looking worried, saying he's losing in some polls. He asks Lauren to come to the rally because people people trust her for being honest at work. That night, Lauren goes back to the bunker to find more information. She asks about where her dad buried the pedestrian's body. Morgan suggests a deal. He'll show her if she lets him go. Lauren reluctantly agrees and takes him outside. Morgan gets emotional, stepping out after a long time. Just then, her husband Scott calls, asking where she's been. Lauren apologizes and promises to make it up soon. They drive to the location Morgan mentioned, and he points to where the body is buried. Morgan sits back and smokes while Lauren starts digging. To her shock, she finds a human skull, proving Morgan was telling the truth. Scared, she hides it back and takes Morgan back to the bunker. She asks him to put the collar back, but he begs her not to betray him. He says, being an honest lawyer, she shouldn't be as cruel as her father. Morgan shares his pain, saying he couldn't even see her mom at the funeral. He pleads to be set free, promising to disappear from their lives without causing harm. After a long talk, Lauren apologizes to Morgan and walks away, her eyes filled with tears. The next day, she goes to her brother's office, pretending to seek advice for a court case. She asks what he would do if someone knew all their secrets and was a threat. William suggests dumping the person in a river or making them disappear with the help of some tough guys. Thinking it over, Lauren goes to the bunker with a bag. She makes Morgan promise to vanish forever, saying he's been in this hell longer than she's been alive. He agrees, and she tells him to clean up because he'll be released that night. Afterward, she asks Harold for $1 million and a jet to help someone her father wronged. Harold asks why, but Lauren keeps it a secret. Well, later Morgan is about to leave, but Lauren asks if her father said anything about her. He shares that Archer was proud of her but didn't like her going against his friends. Then Morgan reveals another secret about William bribing union reps. He claims their dad even bribed people to get her appointed as a district attorney. Unable to take all of it, Lauren slaps him and warns him not to lie again. Finally, Morgan leaves the bunker, carrying a chess piece as a souvenir. Feeling liberated outside, he breathes in the fresh air. Lauren drives him to the private jet where Harold gives him new ID cards and details about his funds. They board the jet while Lauren returns to clean the bunker. She finds poison under the bed but doesn't react, believing everything is over. While all this is happening, Emilio finds Morgan's file and delivers it to Lauren's home. Well, before her, Catherine comes back and opens Lauren's package. Lauren walks in and asks why her mom is looking at her work. Instead of answering, Catherine nervously asks why there's a picture of Carson. Lauren reveals that his real name is Morgan and spills out that her dad kept him in the bunker for years. Shockingly, Catherine claims that Morgan is a cold-hearted serial killer. Lauren confesses that she let him go. What a mess she has created. In a rush, she goes to the airport but finds Harold and the pilot dead. Lauren realizes Morgan is after her mom, so she hurries back home, but Catherine is already missing. Moments later, Lauren sees the bunker door open. Inside, she finds her mom unconscious. As she checks on Catherine, Morgan appears, turns off the light, and attacks her, knocking her out. When she wakes up, Morgan admits to injecting her dad with poison that killed him. He reveals the real truth about the past, talking about the night he gave Catherine a pill and assaulted her. Archer came to help, and on the way, Morgan distracted him, causing the car to hit a pedestrian. Morgan buried the body, despite Archer's objection. When Morgan decided to blame Archer, Archer attacked him and dragged him to the bunker, where he was brutally assaulted. Now, Lauren tries to persuade him, saying she'll help him get justice for whatever her family did to him over the years. But Morgan refuses to make deals. He wants them to suffer like he did for 30 long years. He reveals a plan to go after the rest of their family and ruin their legacy with all the secrets he knows. Catherine wakes up and tells Morgan she should have ended his life herself. He slaps her. Seeing this, Lauren calls him a pathetic lunatic, making him furious. He attacks her, throwing her against the walls. Shockingly, he reveals he's her biological father, leaving Lauren breathless. Meanwhile, Catherine grabs the gun and shoots him in the back of the head. The story ends with the mother and daughter pouring gasoline in the bunker, setting it on fire, and watching it burn. But the truths revealed were quite heavy on Lauren. Thank you for being part of this story. Take care and stay tuned for the next story.